welcome to another Coffee with Coleman. I am super excited to have Keegan with me here today. You know, paraphernalia if you want.
Yeah,
it's on the website soon.
Where's my cup?
I'm going to have a cup for you soon.
Okay.
It's going to be good. Actually, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of cups. So if you want a Coffee with Coleman mug, let me know. I'll make sure that you get one. It's beautiful. I was even thinking about putting my face in the bottom there so you can see it every time you take a sip.
I'm never going to finish my coffee now.
So besides being a former client of about a year ago, there's no such thing as a former client, but a client that bought a year ago, and now a friend, Keegan is up in the Brookland, Woodridge area, and he's done some exciting stuff to his place that I thought might be helpful for other homeowners or potential homeowners in the area. And so I wanted to bring him in today to talk a little bit about what he's done, and then go over a little bit about like what that means, how much it costs him, and all that stuff. And so I'll let you kind of take it off from here.
Okay.
Could you tell a little bit about the DC Riverfront or RiverSmart, program, and a little bit about what you did with it, and maybe even start with like why you even looked into it.
Sure. So as John mentioned, we live in Brookland, and if you've been in Brookland on a walk, at a bar, visiting friends, there's a lot of yard. And in DC, you get a lot of rain. So our problem...
Especially this year.
Yeah, I know. You look outside right now. Our problem, or not even a problem, is we have a lot of water. And our backyard slopes towards our house, and there's no water issues there. There's just a lot of it. Same thing in the front yard, it slips away. And I'm sitting over there at home, well, what can I do? I see a lot of rain barrels in the neighborhood. You walk around, everyone has a rain barrel. Typically, there's one. I wanted two. So, well, how can I get two? So I went on, I started looking for DC rain barrels, and the DC RiverSmarts program popped up. And what this is the DC Department of Energy and Environment puts on this program, and they offer a few different solutions for homeowners that are looking for ways to mitigate water runoff, maybe collect rainwater to use in their garden, just ways so that all this water coming in the yard doesn't hit the storm system and back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was the best thing ever. I struck gold. So I'm looking on there, and I'm like, wow, I can get Casey Trees works with them. They'll put trees in our yard.
Mm-hmm.
We can get rain barrels. They do rain gardens and bayscaping. They do paver projects. They offer rebates, all these different things. Mm-hmm. And so what you do is you go on and you fill out an application, so where you live. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to do too much work just to see what I could do to the house.
Yeah.
It'd make it look nicer. I like working around the house, but there's a certain point where my skill set tapers off, and you got to bring in a professional. Definitely. And what they do is they work with contractors around the city, and you pay a small copay, depending on what the project is, and they come in and they do the work. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there, this makes sense. All right, I'll fill out the PDF, I'll send it off, and did that back in must have been late last winter. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted rain barrels, possibly bayscaping, and trees.
Okay. That's quite the project.
I thought so, yeah. And they don't tell you how long it's going to take either. Our neighbors had actually had it done a few years prior, and they warned us, and Keegan, it could be a while, I'm like, oh, geez. Okay, well, it doesn't, I just have to sit and wait. I'm not the most patient person, so that was hard. But, I got an email, and we set up, they call it an audit. Mm-hmm. And the RiverSmarts program sent out this amazing person to our home, and she walked through the yard with me for about 30 minutes, kind of like when we walked around and looked at houses. You're looking at the yard, she's taking measurements, she's asking things that problem areas. Is there water runoff that's causing erosion? Do we get a lot of rain coming down our downspouts and washing through our yard? Mm-hmm. And I said yes to all these things, and I told her I would love some more trees. More trees in DC, always a good thing.
Can't hurt.
Especially Casey Trees.
Yeah. Who's right in your neighborhood, right in Brookland.
I will, a little plug, they're 6 blocks from our house. Fantastic people.
Close to Brooklyn's finest, too, if you need a drink after tree shopping.
Very close. And so she sat down with me after, and she said, okay, well, this is what I would recommend. 2 rain barrels. Mm-hmm. She said, you definitely want some bayscaping. And if you don't know what bayscaping is, I didn't either. I thought it might have something to do with the Chesapeake Bay. Turns out I was right. And what it is it's native plants. Mm-hmm. And their big thing is they want them to be drought resistant, and they want them to help with the erosion and the runoff. Mm-hmm. So DC summer, if we don't get any rain, they're not going to die.
Yeah.
And she was really good. She kind of walked me through. She pointed out where we would do it, that sort of thing. It was right where I wanted it to. Mm-hmm. So, you're working with them. They're offering you up these options. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of, they are running some of the control. Mm-hmm. But as a homeowner, you're not losing any semblance of the control. You get to work with the contractors when they come. And that was big. So,
so they don't just dictate the project. You guys get to work in unison to make sure it's best for what they're trying to achieve, but then also what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, they're not saying this is what you do. You have to do this. They say here are the terms that you can work within. This is the dollar amount that you pay for the copay. This is the value you get on the project. Mm-hmm. And then everything else is between you and the contractor doing the landscaping, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in DC. You're going to make this easy for me. Sure.
Why not?
Yeah. So that's kind of, a long story why we wanted to do it, just because they made the process pretty easy, filling out the application.
Yeah.
She came, we set up a time for, her name was Savannah, super helpful. We walked through the yard, we talked about everything. She wrote up a report, sent me a PDF the next week, and then it was just waiting time. So,
yeah. And then as we're going through, if you want access to the links and everything, let me know. He's given me a cheat sheet with everything you need to know about this, and I'm happy to share that with anyone. Like, permission, it's on video. So you said there's a little copay with it. How much did this cost you overall? That sounds, again, like a fair amount of work. What did it end up costing you guys to do this?
Yeah, so I think all said and done, it was just under it was somewhere between $400 or $500. And the breakdown was basecaping is $100 copay for $1,200 worth of work.
Wow.
And yeah, pretty good. And it's about 120 square feet of work that they do.
Man, 500, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it gets a handyman to come in and do like a couple things. An electrician come change out a GFC eyelet. You got your whole yard redone. So that's amazing.
And I've sent you some photos.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to share them here. So after keep rolling. I'll get some photos through it. And I'll make sure to include it in the informational packet as well, so you can just kind of see what it can look like when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and they do have some examples of projects on their website too. I just thought ours was a neat example because we have the slopes, you can see it, and one of the caveats that they do, they're very upfront about is when you get the basecaping and the rain gardens done. The rain gardens is if you have a flat yard. The basecaping is if you have a slope. So they'll let you know which one you're eligible for, but it takes a couple years for the plants to mature. They put younger plants in there, and they take probably 2 or 3 seasons to fully bloom and see some of the more mature ones that you maybe see around town, which is good and bad. So they put it in. I'm like, oh, that looks a little. But our blueberry bushes they put in are going to be amazing.
Blueberry bushes
in DC.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they recommended it too. That was the best part. Is they said, "Do you want some blueberry bushes in the back?" And this is through the landscaping guy that we work with.
So those are native plants, like blueberry. Is that?
I don't want to. I'm on video here.
Okay.
Don't hold me to it. But it was one of the ones that they recommended.
There's an option.
Yeah, definitely. They recommended it. And we have more pretty ones, varieties of colors and everything. And the hope is that if you follow the maintenance schedule, taking care of it, that they do ask you to sign an agreement saying you'll take care of the work.
Yeah.
That when everything blooms, it will look like the photos.
Yeah.
So, I just have to work on my yard like I normally would. I just have to water plants when I would, and they do all this work. And the nice thing is they actually did 2 basecapings for us because our backyard and our front yard both slope. So we did a $200 copay, and they did a larger scope of work for us.
Okay.
And then you couple that with the rain barrels, which they have 2 options online. They're really cool. I don't, you see the normal rain barrels. I put a photo up. I sent you a few.
Yeah.
It's a little more old school. It's kind of large and unwieldy, but they have this really cool slick one. I think they designed it in Pittsburgh. And I'll avoid any penguins digs here, but
You're musfish. We're caps friendly over here.
Yeah. It works really well with a lot of row homes. It's more narrow and long. It looks pretty cool. And so they give you some options, where to put it, that sort of thing. It doesn't just sit in your yard and look ugly. Like they want it to be attractive to you.
Yeah.
And then the last part were the trees. Crew came in. They put a red maple and a serviceberry in our yard. It takes me longer to go grocery shopping at Whole Foods than it did for this crew to come in and dig 2 holes and put 2 large trees in. So it was pretty cool. It felt like Christmas.
And the amazing thing is, I can't tell you how many houses that I go and see with clients where they have the downspout just jumping right next to the corner and the foundation of the house, which can cause issues. It's just not good for the overall structure of the house. You can start getting sediment and all that, or moisture in your basement. This not only holds the water, but then once it's too full, and then it rarely gets too full around here, I assume. But once it gets too full, there's a runoff that will then take away from your house too. So you kind of solve 2 problems there with one.
And they're automatic too, so you don't. During the summer and the fall, you don't need to worry about, oh geez, it's going to rain a ton tonight. I'm stuck at work. It's going to overflow out the top of the rain barrel. No, it diverts out the side, and they have a runoff spout that goes. And whether you want to bury it or run a little pipe or something like that, it moves away from the house. But the best part is, I don't know how many folks like to garden. I do. You don't have to run the hose. Right? It's fairly low pressure from the rain barrel. But if you're just watering your garden, filling up a watering can, you can do it all summer. It doesn't cost you anything. It's coming from the roof. So it saves you water. It doesn't run into your yard and make a mess. And you can feel a little bit better because you're saving money. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Definitely. And then again, what was the time frame from submitting the application to being done?
So if you're watching this video right now and John has a link and you click on it, fill it out immediately.
I'm going to try to get a link on there. I'm not that good yet, but I'm going to try.
Fill it out immediately. They, I think, are getting more popular. Our neighbors just did it. They had their audit maybe a month ago, or it might have been September. And what happens is they do all the audits, and then they plan out for the upcoming season. So we did our audit in February or March, somewhere when it was still cold. We didn't get any work done until the end of the summer.
Okay.
Reason being is you're planting stuff. You don't want to plant it when it's hot out. It's going to die.
Yeah.
So they did our basecaping. Must have been late September.
Okay.
Same thing with the trees. We scheduled it, I think it was early October when Casey Trees came out with her crew, and that was the optimal time. You want to have it a little cooler, you're still watering it, you just don't want it to be getting heat soaked under the sun.
DC summer, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same way as the plants. I just pretty much die.
Rain barrels, not as long, but when they're busy, it's first come, first serve. So that's where if you get in soon with an application, you're sooner in the line when it comes for installs, that sort of thing. So all said and done, we had the audit in late winter there, early spring, and everything was done by mid-October. It could be sooner, it could be longer, depending where you are in the process, or maybe if you are getting some other work done, that sort of thing. So it really depends, but figure you're not going to get it done in the springtime if you do it now. They'll probably wait till the fall.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but they work with you. So they set me up with a Casey Trees, and arborist actually came to the house. He said, here's all the trees, here's some optimal spots, that sort of thing. So we're thinking red maple in the backyard. That'd be awesome in 15 years.
Yeah.
You're thinking long term. So you're not going to get some of these gorgeous old trees immediately. But you're planning ahead for the future, that sort of thing. So I was really impressed with the whole process. And as someone who's not that patient, it was hard. But they made it easy. They stayed in touch when there was updates. And they were actually really responsive to questions, too. So if I had questions throughout the process, RiverSmart's and the landscape architect and Casey Trees, they were all really good. Nothing but fantastic things to say about them.
Cool. So I think that answers the last question I had, which is pretty much would you recommend people to do it? And I already knew the answer going into that, which is absolutely.
Yeah.
If you have a chance, if you own a place, why not just apply? See what you can do, see how much it would cost to just have some fun things done to your house. And again, if you want this information, we're going to have a one-pager with all the links you need and make sure that everything that you have questions about. And listen, if you have more advanced questions, Keegan, you're always open for a quick discussion. So
yeah,
we can make that happen.
Happy to. And John, I'm sure, would love to bounce questions off me if you want to go through him. I went through the process, and my wife, I still don't think she knew all the little planning things that go into it, but you can appreciate what it's done at the end. And you don't have to know anything about yard work to get this done. They will help you. They give you a sheet with the maintenance, when you should water in the fall, when you should start watering in the spring, when you should prune. If you have questions, you can follow up with them too. They make it really easy. You don't need to have a high skill set in yard work.
Yeah.
They want it to be accessible to everyone in DC.
Okay.
And they'll be very honest. The audit is not to get you in trouble or to tell you how messed up your yard or your drains are. They want to make it work for everybody. They want to. The end goal here is to reduce stormwater runoff.
Yeah.
And homeowners win because these are things that we want anyways. So DC is working with us to make it easy. I would 100% recommend it to anybody. And maybe if you're just outside DC in Virginia or Maryland, I think some of the counties offer programs too. I hope they do.
Yeah.
Because this is a fantastic model.
Yeah. We're just going to have to move you to houses around the area so you can test the different programs. So
Yeah.
good.
You know, DC this is a home run. Subtle Bryce Harper dig. But yeah, it's I really enjoyed chatting about it today. And you know what? You could get it done on your house too.
I could, and I should. I need that rain barrel because I'm one of those people that I'm getting water next to. That's a story for a different coffee with Coleman. But yeah, maybe we'll do like a Coleman house improvements. I have to do some stuff to my own house.
I'm picturing Tool. What is it? Home Improvement.
Home Improvement?
With Ed Bryan over the fence there.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in today, and thanks all of you for joining for another Coffee with Coleman. This one was longer, but as you saw, the information is so valuable. And if you would like to participate, let me know. You can let me know that it's something that you wanted to share. And I couldn't be more psyched to have him on here today with our new cool microphone. And again, the water features and second viewing. So we love hosting these. We hope you like watching them. And thanks so much for everything. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.